Welcome back, everybody. Another Monday morning here with Ted. Hey, Ted.
How are you?
I'm good. I've been enjoying these. I feel like we're going to add another layer. So if anybody hasn't seen the last couple sessions we've done, we talked about benefits of being a solopreneur. We talked about getting that start, making that start, taking that action. So today, Ted, you want to cover a bit about diversifying your skill set. What do you mean when you say that?
Yeah, it's interesting. I want to hear your take on this. And I wish this is one that I wish that we were in the room with everybody and we could have a discussion about. And I'm being honest with that, because I think coming out of the gate, we put foot on path, we understand why we're doing this stuff. And now we go gangbuster. I got to go learn everything. And I'm reflecting back to when I started out, I wanted to learn everything there was to know about my space, be an expert in everything and all of it. So I guess with the reason I say I want to know where you stand on this, and I wish we could have a discussion about this, because it's almost like diversify your skill set or not. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those things that, and I think that's what the people with us today have to ponder, because I don't remember the saying, master of none, master of many or something,
Yeah, jack of all trades, master of none.
There you go.
Got it.
And so I think this is an important slowdown for everybody right now. And to be methodical and strategic, two words that are going to come up in your solopreneur journey, to be methodical and strategic about where you need to diversify your skill set or not.
Yeah.
And I'm adding that or not because I really want people to think through, are you just going to learn this because you think you should? Or is it going to really add benefit to what you're trying to accomplish in the next 12 to 18 months? Because remember, this thing's going to evolve and unwind before your eyes. But going to learn a ton of stuff that, one, you're going to forget some of it, and two, is never going to come into play because you got crystal clear on what you're trying to accomplish, and that skill set really is irrelevant. Do you see where I am on this?
But guess what, Ted? Guess what? No matter which option you choose, you have to start with one.
100%.
And I think that's sometimes the thing. Like, so you can go.
Well, you're nailing it. We're actually speaking the same language when I say be methodical and strategic. Because by no means am I going to tell you don't do anything, because I had plenty to learn. So this is the slowdown of just saying, like, where do you need to diversify your skill set, right? And this is all the stuff, the pile on of all the things that you and I have spitballed about in the last couple months, the vision and the slowdown and the benefits of, like, this is when you're going to start connecting those pieces of that puzzle, as you referenced, last time we were together, like looking back and go, if I was to try to accomplish this, I better learn X.
Yeah. Back it into, and I think this is the problem that a lot of our members have and find themselves having, is that so AWAI, we teach different courses, right? We have different,
and a lot,
and there's so many, because now, and the reason for that is not because you should be taking them all. The reason for that is because that is how big the opportunity is, right? The amount of courses feeds back into the opportunity. Like, there's so many different things you can do. We by no means suggest you should do all of them, right? So I think that's the thing you got to commit to, is what is that first one, starting with there and then going from there. And it's funny because I was actually on a session with Russ Henneberry, he's one of our teachers, and he was on with the COS members. So we have a membership called Circle of Success. And he said that the other thing that people always think is, like, when you say it's one or the other, right? He's like, you can diversify, like, going across, so you like on like multiple fields, or you can diversify going down, right? And so in this, you just go deeper within, right? And so I think there's another level of choice of what you got to do, but it all starts with one, and it all starts with finishing one. And I think Rebecca I love when she talks about this, the two buckets, right? Like, you're feeding your skill buckets, so you're learning a part of the skill of copywriting, and then a lot of what you have been talking about, the business bucket, right? And so you, one at a time, are filling both buckets. So you're adding to both of these things at the same time, because it doesn't need to be then one or the other, right? So I would really look at, like, defining for you, like, what that first step is on both sides, and being so good at that one thing, and like knowing it so well, or feeling so confident in it. And I think there's a lot of like mental, like stuff that comes with completing one course. I feel like that feels really good and it feels really strong. And so I give you permission, even though you see us selling a lot of courses, we never want you to take all the courses and take one.
Understand what you're taking and why.
Yes. And then make some money, right? And then come back and diversify if you want to, or like go deeper into something if you want to. We have different levels even of the same skill, you know, but we want you to be successful at the end of the day. And you are not successful by simply just taking a whole bunch of stuff and not.
See, I love that. I also like what Hannah said about diversifying down.
Yeah, right.
Just I love that.
Within. Yeah. And
something that I say that supports what you're saying and what we're talking about here is that, you know, again, back to that strategic, like think through what you're trying to diversify in. If you've ever heard, and I've said it on the AWA stage before, but if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. This ties into everything that we've been talking about for the last couple of months of why we started talking about this vision and all this other stuff. Now you got to start backfilling that with skill set, right? Versus just going out and learning a bunch of stuff because I'm going to be a solopreneur. You had mentioned something a couple of weeks ago. I'm not going to remember when. This is all becoming a cloud of dust this year, Jade. But you had talked about outsourcing certain things. This is a good time to be going, hey, am I passionate enough? Do I have the desire enough? Do I want to learn this skill for my business, or do I need to go outsource this? You know, a lot of people go, I'm not going to outsource anything. And I don't think that's wise in business either. So I'm just kind of throwing that in on the back end of this. Like, this is a good time to ponder something that you brought up again. Yeah.
You can outsource, you can partner, you can be, especially with writing, like there's so many different things that this is the best part about this. And the thing that can also be so scary is there's so many options, right? There's so much that you can do. And there's so many, again, your writer's life is yours. So I think if you don't get clear on all these things we're talking about,
there you go.
You're not going to take any action, and it's just going to be confusing and overwhelming, and you're just going to stop. You're not going to take that first step we talked about. You're not going to outline those benefits. You're not going to make that fit, because it's just like.
Well, you said it, and you said it, and it's true, and it's awesome that there's so many options.
Yes.
That could also be the death of your business.
Yes. 100%. 100%.
You know, I want to do this. Well, it's funny because Jade, you and I were just talking about this, you know, offline. You were talking about writing a book. You know, people in my space, a lot of people write books. It doesn't fit where I am right now. You know what I mean? Because I guess I'm bringing that up in the sense there's going to be a lot of sexy stuff and a lot of options and all this other stuff. Jade and I keep on pushing you guys to slow down and figure out what it is you want and then backfill it. But you can't do nothing. You got to go, like Jade said, you got to be picking one or two things to go diversify your skill set.
Yeah. And Ted, if you weren't so clear on what you wanted, that book would just seem so much more appealing, right?
I'd have been grabbing every shiny object. You got to remember, think about the past decade and all this stuff.
Yeah, there's so much noise.
I mean, there's so much stuff. Oh, do this, do that, do this. Don't do that. You know, you got to be crystal clear on what you're trying to accomplish. Both in practical and emotional ways.
Doesn't mean that you can never do that thing. Like Ted might write a book one day, but just in this moment, right now, at
the right time, if it fits. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay, so I guess, what do you think our homework is today?
Yeah, I would start with making sure that you tied up. So let's go back a little bit and make sure that you actually did the work that we proposed, that you actually got somewhat clear, right? It'll be an ever-evolving thing, vision, the true benefits, and all the rest of this. And then what are a couple things, not 5, what are 1 or 2 things that you should go into the AWA library, look at the courses that are available, go outside of the AWA library and look at a different element of business that you may have to learn, whatever, and narrow it in. That's going to support what we had talked about in the last couple of weeks, that first foot on path. Like, what are the things that you got to get out of the hopper to get your first client? You know, you may be further down the path than that, but what's going to evolve your business to take it to the next level, as they often say, level up.
And, you know, Ted, I also do think it's important to say now that you don't have to be alone in this decision, because like you can call AWAI any day and ask, why should I be taking this certain course? And people on the outside will be able to tell you the benefits of that course. For you to be able to make that decision, you know what I mean? Like, you don't need to look at the catalog and decide alone what's right for you, you know.
Just grab the shiny object.
Exactly. And there's also amazing Facebook groups where you can ask other people that have taken certain things and how it was out for them and how they liked it, or, you know, benefits of that thing. So a reminder that none of this are you ever alone to make that decision when there's so many options, so many beautiful opportunities and options. And I think, Ted, next week's session might be probably my favorite topic ever. So I'm predicting right now it might be my favorite one we've ever done. And I think it's so important that we're going to remind you about what you are worth and knowing what that is. So I am excited, Ted.
Cool. Yeah, it's a good one.
See everyone then. Bye, guys.